possible at the beginning of this process.
Do you think Kiwis are a little bit different?
Did you think that the interviews were run sort of like a Nazi war camp?
Well, not so much a Nazi war. It's definitely run like a military operation, yeah.
Has your pass ever been revoked?
No.
I got revoked. Look, nothing around my neck. Look.
Oh, yeah? Are you gone, eh?
I'm gone. I'm gone, burgers.
There you go.
What did you do to make them,
I asked what they thought of New Zealand pussy.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I can't believe you can't talk about that.
You can't talk about your New Zealand chicks like that.
No, I'm saying, you know, I love New Zealand. I mean, wonderful.
Yeah.
But people say, you know, physically, to look at,
That's so
sometimes
mean.
a big diff.
Darling, don't go there.
I think, you know, no, New Zealand women are great. They've got a lot of style, a lot of class. They're cool, man. I mean, they're very earthy and wise as well. They've got that sort of wisdom.
I'm
But,
not
you know.
partaking in this conversation.
What about New Zealand men?
They're really cute.
Yeah.
There's lots of cute boys around.
Nominated for Best Cock-Up from an Outside Broadcast.
His lawyers are challenging the refusal of the SAS, the Security Intelligence Service, to provide even so much as a summary of the allegations against him. Now, our man Tony Field was at the High Court in Auckland. He saw how it went. Hello, Tony. Tony, I've lost you, I think. Is Tony there? I've lost you. Tony's done a tape piece. I think we'll just throw straight to that. This is the piece that Tony Field filed.
And welcomed Ring's cast and crew for a reception at Parliament.
Hello, sweetheart. It's good to see you.
Then the King left, waving to his subjects. Simon Beattie, 3 News.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm really sorry. I thought they were Lord of the Rings ears, those fake ones. Give us another look at them. They're pretty big. Let's have a look. Oh, see, they are beauties, aren't they? They really are beauties. Still to come, is airport security a sham? And Hickey shocks the nation with a porno sandwich. If you've ever thought that security measures at New Zealand airports are more show than substance, you're not alone. In fact, a former advisor to the Pentagon agrees with you. Since 9/11, airport security has changed markedly. The search for personal weapons of destruction has led to record confiscations of pocket knives and scissors. But are we really any safer?
Terrorism works because it has high symbolic value. It has very little military utility, but it has a very strong symbolic value that operates on the collective psyches of a civilian population. So terrorist attacks on the United States have to shock the American public into submission. That's what their orientation would be. And so doing something bad to even a large aircraft flying from New Zealand to the United States probably would not accomplish that end. So why do it? And I think that the security personnel that I see as I try to transit out of the country certainly don't exhibit the professionalism that one would think they should exhibit if they're really serious about security. I think that this is a lot of, again, symbolic displays of heightened security concerns, but with very little effectiveness.
It's just a big show.
If someone really wanted to plot something involving an airliner leaving New Zealand, I don't think that
they could just drive around the back. That's the thing, is that there's a gate around the back that you can just, you know, you get in and drive around the back. It's no problem at all.
Well, I guess we shouldn't be too harsh on New Zealand. I'll give you for instance, it's well known that a lot of the National Guardsmen and reservists who patrol the airports in the United States, full camouflage, the works,
Seen them, yeah.
M16s, their weapons are not loaded. In fact, their weapons have no bullets. And the reason for that is that these are weekend warriors, and the concern is that a real terrorist will disarm them and then hose down a concourse if they have a full magazine.
If the Twin Towers hadn't have collapsed, if the planes had have flown into the Twin Towers, but the Twin Towers were on fire but they were left standing. Would things be different today?
Yes, I think they would be. I think that, first of all, those, even if they were charred hulks, those buildings would be standing today as a symbol of American resolve in the face of a dastardly attack. It would be a rallying cry for the Americans. But because of that, because they would be able to show that even in the face of such a horrific onslaught, they were able to stand up even if damaged, we probably wouldn't be in Iraq today. It's very clear that this administration felt that beating on the Taliban was not enough. It was too easy. And so they had to go and punch someone else who was making life difficult for whatever reasons, and Saddam Hussein was a very convenient scapegoat. It's possible that the scapegoating wouldn't have extended beyond the Taliban and al-Qaeda in Afghanistan if that symbol of American resolve and resiliency was still left standing.
Still to come, Hickey in a sticky situation, the celebrity share market, and politicians not paying attention. Be prepared to go ballistic. To the celebrity share market now, and Apes is out as TVNZ sheds high-priced ponies. Ashton's ears sends jitters through the market. Campbell laughs on news and goes sky high. Frodo becomes an honorary Aucklander by pissing in bucket fountain. And Hand Shandy Die continues to slide. Each day, journalists and politicians engage in a delicate dance with each trying to lead without stepping on the other's toes. If one should spin out of balance, the whole thing could come apart at the seams, spilling on the floor like mince on toast. In the final instalment of our behind-the-scenes expose on Parliament, we take you inside the halls of power, to the weekly ritual known as the running of the ministers. And just a warning, the following story contains images of Rodney Hyde. It's Tuesday morning, and journalists are on a stakeout in the hallways of power, following the post-cabinet caucus meeting. It's a weekly ritual known as the running of the ministers.
They keep just sort of filing through until we see one that we're interested in talking to. You see some of them sometimes slow, hesitate, hopefully, hoping that we might have a word to them, but we sort of usher them through. Morning. How are you?
Very good.
Slight hesitation there. Thought there might have been an issue. Your Excellency, how are you?
Oh, very well indeed.
Excellent. You'll notice I call them Your Excellency because he, of course, is going to become one when he becomes our High Commissioner to London in 2005, yeah. And nobody's officially announced it yet, but I always call him Your Excellency. Aaron, you going to go out the front and address the GE protesters today, do you think?
It depends on how many questions I've got at question time.
Do you actually listen to these protesters?
Yes, I do listen to the protesters.
Do you believe there's a lot of scaremongering in this debate? I mean, frog spliced tomatoes, for example, jumping into salad bowls.
Do not set me going on those sorts of issues. No, yes, I don't think it's scaremongering. I think it's genuinely people are scared and they are nervous.
So the world's not going to change as we know it?
No, the world isn't going to change as we know it. And people will have choices. They'll continue to have choices, and I don't think they'll have anything more to choose from than they have today.
Hobbs gets an easy ride from SOPA. His 1ZB listeners are still undecided on the GE issue. But outside on the steps of Parliament, it's a different story. So do you know all of the ministers' numbers and things like that?
We have lists of all their numbers.
Leah Haynes is a junior member of the press gallery and works for the Dominion Post.
My cell phone, do you want some?
Can I just have a look?
Who do you want?
Under H?
You want Rodney?
Oh, is Rodney in there? Sarah. Oh, look, Rodney Hyde, wow.
So I'm a baby parliamentary reporter, yeah.
Well, they say, oi. Go and get us a fucking, grab us that fucking shit from down there?
No, they don't. No one says that. No.
The press gallery is practically a who's who of New Zealand journalism. Plunkett, Campbell, Ralston, they've all done their time. And like Soper, have the classic suits to prove it. Back in his filthy office, Soper will make Marion's words into a news story.
Minister Marion Hobbs says the government's committed to lifting the moratorium next year, although she does understand that people are afraid. At Parliament, Barry Soper. And these are all, of course, the former leaders. The most entertaining, of course, was David Lange. He held great news conferences. If you threw him a line, you'd know that you'd get a great line back.
The opposition is reduced to an absolutely pathetic show. They cannot win an argument, they cannot mount a debate, and now they cannot even convincingly tell a lie.
It was interesting watching Bolger. From when he started, he had a great deal of humility and dealt with his backbench very well. At the end of his term, and this is why leaders generally lose, because they lose touch with their backbench and they tend to forget that it's the backbench that puts them into power and it's the public that keeps them there. But to get the job in the first place, you've got to have the confidence of your colleagues. If you lose that, it's good night nurse.
If you're in Wellington while Parliament's sitting, make sure you drop in for question time. It's a fascinating sight and a lot more fun than Te Papa.
Oh, you fill me full of cum.
Many people have complained about the language used on this show. But what could be worse than disgusting potty-mouth madness at dinner time? Thanks to the viewer Nai, who sent us this tape, illustrating a shocking new low for pornographic weatherman Jim Hickey.
Well, weather time now, and the rains are gone, or is it, Jimmy?
The rainers are gone, burger, but the showers and and a bit of frost, well, they're sort of cum burgers, if you know what I mean. They're on the way. And g'day, folks, how are you? The southerly is here.
As a follow-up to that piece, we Googled the term cum burger, but the results are not fit to broadcast. And that's our show. Coming up next week, the mad dogs of journalism, where have all the hard men gone, including Rod Vaughan, with a blow-by-blow account of the Bob Jones bashing.
Get the out of here.
From all of us here at Eating Media Lunch, cum burger.
At number 96, when John Campbell laughs, the world laughs with him.
The public got its first look at Christchurch's controversial corgi statues this morning. I'm very sorry. The 3 life-size corgis were commissioned for the Queen's Jubilee, with many ratepayers believing the $24,000 price tag was barking mad. After much debate, the statues went on hold. Hilary, would you like to finish this off?
Now, the 3 bronze dogs will be installed near the city centre next weekend.
I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It was just all too much of me. Still to come on 3 News, a posh hat and a happy footballer. The Beckhams pop in on the Queen, and Westport rivals Wellywood as the townfolk gather for a film screening of their own.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.